Hello. I'm outdoors again and I'm been sketching this scene that I'm going to create and make up just now. I put a loose background here with this fir tree that's very impressive, over 100 feet high, and I've just been looking for things to put together to create a scene. So I'm going to do it in acrylics. So the first thing first is start always with the area that's furthest away from you. So the furthest thing away from us here just now is the sky. So I'm going to put in a light wash for the sky behind the painting. Now I've prepared this work on just old cardboard. I'm not using a canvas, just cheap cardboard. So I'm going to plant the sky all over the back here. And it's just going to be this shade. I'm going to do a light wintry sky because I'm going to change this scene from spring maybe to a kind of winterish thing. So I'm going to just do it as a wash. You can see how I'm getting this all over the background behind the tree. So you start with the thing that's furthest away and you work further and further towards the closest area of the canvas. There we are. So I'm going in around the texture of that tree because there's going to be some sky showing through it. The tree, I'm planning on it taking up most of the space as a kind of dark background. There's a few clouds there, so I'll just intercept them in there very quickly. It's going to be a loose surface. So there we are with the blue for the sky, quickly done. Next thing is to look at the structure of the tree. So again, the next thing you're seeing before the leaves, the branch. So I'm going to just take a medium brush here. I'll use this other palette. I'm just going to take a couple of colours of brown, burnt sienna, and this one which is burnt umber, and a little bit of black. There we are. That's good. So let's get a, yeah, this will do it. So I'm just going to put in some of the branches of the tree. I don't need too many, I just want to get the sense that there's a tree there with branches. Now these fir trees, they've got kind of long curving branches coming into the center stem. So I'm going to just put those there, up here like that, right here like that. There's your uncle. Now you can see they're going out to the periphery here. Now these will be almost invisible by the time I'm finished with this painting, but they provide the understructure. There's another one. One here. One here. There's another tree behind there. So I'm going to do something here. There's a branch here. Something coming out here. And trees, so that's us, we've got that there. So far so good. So that's very loosely done. I'm going to do this as a quick painting for you at home to enjoy seeing how to construct something out of nothing. So I'm going to take some of this colour just now, which is sap green. Sap, because the trees have got sap. I'm going to put a little bit of light green in with it as well. Light green. And some of this deep yellow, I'm just going to keep that at the side there, just in case I need it. Okay, so once again, back onto the leaves. Bigger brush. So you start big and finish small, so I'm going to do most of this stuff with this larger brush. Start dark, finish light, start tight, start loose, finish tight. Now I don't know if any of you have got outdoor space that you can use, but this is kind of using somebody else's garden here to illustrate this space. So I'm going to go big here just now actually, because I want to get this sense of the green. There, let's get a nice big brush. This will do. I want to get a sense of that green really playing out behind this figure, so I'm going to go thicker. And greener. So I'm using this bigger brush just now, which is like a house painter's brush. And I think it might make the job a lot easier than it was going there. And the leaves are kind of hanging down there. They're not really leaves as we know it, they're more like creepers. There we go. Now it always starts rough and ends up tight. Remember that. You're not going to get a painting done straight away. You've got to have patience and vision. A vision of what you want to get at the end, and the patience to tolerate going through the mess that you have to go through to get there. I'm going through this green like a solid green machine. That. Now I'm wanting him to stick out. I've actually drawn a figure here that I found in the garden, just this old gnome who's been out here for years and he's become quite weathered. So he's my model to add some rustic interest to this scene. A little bit of the yellow's coming in there because I'm wanting to contrast that. There's that behind there. Go. And the beauty about just doing this on an old piece of cardboard is you're not using an expensive canvas where you're always worried about what you're going to do. If it doesn't work, it's not a great expenditure. Just knocking some of those things that are behind there. I'm looking at these bushes behind him. That's the loose concoction of trees there behind this creature. So I'm just going to go and quickly start to do something on the face here. This will be the really, in essence, the underpainting that I've talked to you about before. So let's see this fellow. Use a tighter brush to do this. I think I would use this one, which is not too good. It's a little bit hard. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, so this is the star of the show here. Let's see what we can get done with him. So I'll loosely just get the impression of him in there. He's got a big round nose. Oops. It's been windy the last few days, so we couldn't really do this then, but this evening it's quiet at last and we've got a chance to kind of try this. So I'm going to get the impression of his face. He's got a mouth shouting. Yay. There he goes. And let me see, let me get his hand is out there. Got that. He's holding something, which is... See, I'm just painting this in brown at the beginning before I do the flesh. There he is. Palm of the hand. And he's holding this. In this case, it's a brush he's holding because he's an artist. So there he goes. Out it comes there. And we're going to do that. Now, as I said to you, this is the underpainting. Hopefully it looks okay to start doing the final stuff with the colours later. So I'm going to get that other arm, which is coming out from the big beard. Now it's been damaged with time, so I'm going to try and do some surgery on his hand. The poor soul has lost some fingers in the weather. Frostbite. And there's another finger. Another finger. There he is. He's got some fingers. And there we go. One arm. And he's got his funny old belt, which I'll put in there, which has got the buckle like that. Okay, there we go. Some more brown, just so I get the shapes right. And he's got this blue tunic thing on. And I'll just give the sense of these weird black boots that he's been wearing. There we go. One black boot. And another, if I can get the shape right. They're funny boots, big round feet. That's him. Like Popeye boots. There he goes. Voila. So he's going to be integrated in this. There are two different scenes. The tree is over there, obviously, and he's sitting on a table in the garden here. So I'm just going to put him in a kind of landscape, imaginary. Because gnomes I always associate with Norway and Scandinavia and snowy places. So I think he's going to end up somehow or another in the snow. But we'll see. Okay, so that's that done. So far so good. So we've been working on that for a few minutes. Just going to get a splash of colour going there because I'm desperate to see something coming out against the green. So I'm going to do the first tone on the hat, which in the actual gnome is a bit a dull kind of brownish ochre, but I'm going to give it a burst of light here in the middle. I'm not sure if I like that red. It's a bit too artificial. So I'm going to add this other red here, which is an orange red. Which is a bit too orange. I'll get there eventually. So this one looks good, vermilion, a nice old French red. Yeah, that's the one I should have used in the first place. Instead I'm going to mix the three of them together. And that's his hat, which is important. That's going to be the center point of the painting. I kind of composed the thing so that there'd be something dead center that would attract the eye. Composition is something we haven't gone into too much, but it's vitally important for a painting. Where do you want the viewer's eye to go? What do you want them to see? And how do you want them to respond to what you're doing? That's key questions every artist has to ask. So, even in a simple thing like this, it can be done. So I'm keeping these reds out because I'm going to put the first tone of the skin on. I'm going to move the red, yellow ochre, medium yellow, and some of the white, if I can find it, and some of this stuff. That's kind of beigeish pink. Yeah, here's white. Come on out. There he is. So I'll take the brush here, and this one, and I'll use this small one. I'm just going to try and do a little bit on the face now. There it goes. So what I'm not an acrylic artist, as you know, but as I keep saying, one of the good things about acrylic is that it dries really quickly. So if this was oils, I'd still be waiting for a lot of this to dry, but it's already bone dry, so I can go right into it. So once again, start loose, finish tight. I'm just going to rough in the face here. Give him some darker nostrils. You can see I've got a little bit of red there now. I can't see if that thing has got coloured eyes, but I'll give him a kind of brownish blue eyes. There he is. Now the mouth, I'm going to build up there, and he's got these teeth sticking out. Here we go, and a pair of lips. can see I'm just roughing those in. I've just used very quick lips. A bit bigger than his lips in real life, but you know, you can easily shape that down, and we will when we put the beard there. I don't usually paint characters with beards, but this gnomes always have beards. Have you noticed that? They don't shave. Funny creatures. There we go. And a little bit of brown here. And I'll just knock in a hand while I've got the colours out. Red, yellow ochre. Some of that white. Another hand. I wonder if we'll get all the underpainting done in this first session. Yeah, that's it. Hand done, and I'm going to put a bit of shadowing in there because it's not. Oops. Remember that, the poncing move, that's to blend the colours in. Always handy when you get to that. So I'm just going to blend those shades in here. Now it's a very rough scale of the hand, but as I said, later on we'll detail that in. Just going to get the sense of that. So he's coming bit by bit. I'm going to give him that nice cerulean blue jacket. In fact, I'll make it cobalt blue, which is a good expensive blue. That's what you do sometimes. You just squeeze it straight onto the painting itself. Especially if you're wanting the colours very vibrant. I don't bother even putting it on the palette, I go straight on. There's the arm. Ba ba ba. Down here with that, I'm leaving the beard space. Some more here. I'm going to have to get more acrylic paint because I'm quite enjoying doing these outdoor paintings, and I'll keep in touch with all of you over the summer if you want to. I mean, you can always send me photographs of what you're doing, as we're all going to be locked down for months on end. Not really allowed to go out unless we're masked up and all that stuff, so why not paint? And if you have, even if you have just have a window, you can look out of it. If you're in an apartment, there's always something interesting you can see. If you've got weird neighbours, you could paint them. So, but don't let them see you. So that's that. Okay, so I'm going to make the beard come in there and integrate it. I haven't got his ear there done. Oops. Which I will just try and do now. I'm just going to make it like a squiggle. Okay, that's fine. And some of the texture in the beard I'm just going to start to establish now, because that's going to come in later on, and that's going to nicely tie together. You know, the beard is a nice device which is going to tie together the face and the body. He's got such a big beard, so I'm going to just do it dark at the beginning for the shaping, and then later on put the grey of his beard onto this. That's it. I'm going to do a little bit of the this hairs coming out of the top of the hat here, so let's see if we can get some of the hairs down on the beard while he's there, because that's a hell of a looking beard on him just now. And it's going to take down that lip. There we go. That's him. A grey beard. He's an old gnome who's been around this home for God knows how long. 10 years probably. I think he came from the old house and followed us. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm just going to do that like that just now, and I'll probably fix that up later, you know, just to get the life of the beard coming out the thing. He's got a jumper underneath there. Underneath his blue jacket, and the beard actually is quite long. I notice it goes underneath. I didn't know that. I didn't see that at the beginning. It goes underneath the hand, like so. That's it. These have got little scoobly doos. Yeah, I think he has got eyebrows. Big ones. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back now. I've done enough on that head for the time being. I'm going to go back to the old green for just now. I'll use a really dark green behind him. And I'm just going to make this like clean it up a bit, you know, you can sharpen things up by using the background, and that's what I'm going to do in this case. That's it. A little bit of that yellow is going to make it more verdant. Verdant is a nice word. I was using it with somebody this week, and she had to look it up in the dictionary. It just means green. Verdant, a kind of nature green. Verdant green. Good word. So here we go. That's this. That's this. Because you want the colours to be rich. You don't want them to be artificial, but you want them to be rich and give your work a vibrancy. So that was the underpainting of the trees and the underpainting of the gnome. And I think we'll probably stop soon for today because it's starting to get colder actually. We had to wait until late in the day to film this one because of certain factors, but I think we'll stop before too long. Yeah. And then we'll have a part 2 of this story of a gnome at home, locked down, not able to go back and meet his relatives, but doing the best he can. Okay, there we are. I'm going to leave that for today. That's the underpainting. As I said, we'll have a part 2 probably tomorrow, and we'll see what we can do with this gnome to make him even feel more at home. Wishing you all the best, take care, all the greetings and power to your elbows, make art, make yourselves happy. Thank you, bye bye.